Appreciate you streaming on in here on Birds 365 with your Mac and Mac guys. We know we got a bunch of you guys out there who are JAKIB Media all-day viewers, streamers. Thank you for just doing just that, which means you're also Barrett Brooks fans. From Sports Take coming up later on this afternoon. We got him up a little early. He went orange. What color is that hoodie?
It's definitely orange. Orange, like a lighter orange. Almost like a creamsicle orange, man. So I thought I'd wake you guys up this morning, man.
Where the hell did you get that?
The DXL, man. In fact, they need to sponsor me. DXL, man. That's
I was going to go salmon. Like, are you a Mark Henry fan? I'm going deep into wrestling here, Barrett.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
His famous promo on John Cena was done in a salmon jacket that was just tremendous. That's what it reminded me of.
Okay.
John Henry was the strongest. It was like the strongest.
World's strongest man.
Yeah, man. John Henry was that dude, man.
It's time for the main event. Yeah. That is Barrett Brooks joining us here on Birds 365. All right, here's where I want to start with you, Barrett, because I bring it up to a bunch of our guests, and no one is more apropos to ask the question to than you. And I'm pointing the finger at myself, could be guilty as charged, but I'm also pointing it at a lot of other Eagle fans and Eagle media and the like. Do we just accept the fact that when the Eagles lose an offensive lineman or have to move an offensive lineman and put a guy in a position that he hasn't normally played, or is not his number one spot, that it's just going to be okay that we're going to replace Isaac Seumalo with Cam Jurgens because Stoutland says so, that he's going to wave his magic offensive line coach wand, and it's going to be perfectly fine. We know that's exactly what happened with Dickerson, who was going to be the heir apparent to Jason Kelsey, and then they needed him a guard, and they moved him over there, and boom, like that, he's a Pro Bowl level player. We're expecting that out of Cam Jurgens at the right guard this year. Do we just put too many eggs in Stoutland's basket? Is that unfair to the young player who you were asking to change positions?
In all actuality, it's not. It's amazing that when you go to Stoutland University, you never stop getting paid. I mean, you go down the line, Dennis Kelly, Nate Herbig, Isaac Seumalo now, Big V. They leave Stoutland University and make major. I'm so mad at my mom right now. I love my mom. I'm so mad she had me 15 years too early. Because I mean, if I'd have went to Stoutland University, I'd still be getting paid now. I mean, you look at the contract these guys are getting. Nate Herbig got 2 years, $8 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Seumalo, he earned the money he got from the Steelers. Both of those guys will probably be starting for the Steelers this year. Yeah. Even Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor goes and is competing for the right tackle position with the 49ers.
Yep.
He just, and LaRaven Clark just left and went to the.
He's in the Steelers too.
Yeah,
LaRaven.
He just signed with them too.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how much this man has really put his mark on being one of the best position coaches ever in the NFL, bar none. Now, is it going to be a seamless transition? For this Eagles offensive line. Now, I think they'll still be the best offensive line of football with Cam Jurgens going to right guard. He has the build as far as his arms, long arms, but he hasn't played it before. He's a former tight end. So 6'3", 300 pounds. He's kind of light for a guard. Usually you want guys that are a little thicker, but it's kind of the same as Seumalo. He had right along the same characteristics that Cam Jurgens has. I just know that when this guy teaches you, you listen. Ever since both he and JP got together, him and Jason Peters got together and came up with this pass setting scheme. All these guys do it. All of them, play the same way.
Exaggerated kick, Barrett.
Exactly, and he gets them out of their stances fast. I mean, he created a 6'8", 370 pound monster at left tackle. Landon Dixon comes in. He's, first time Pro Bowler. Center's a Pro Bowler and future Hall of Famer. The right tackle's a future Hall of Famer. Jason Peters, a future Hall of Famer. I mean, he has something. I mean, I know you can't drink the water in Philly now, but I want whatever they're drinking at that NovaCare system.
And the history of the Eagles, which you were a part of, for years and years and years and years, they had many good offensive linemen, but not like this. I mean,
Right.
the Pro Bowls, the Hall of Fame, it has completely turned the corner. And saying all that, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate because you mentioned some of those names, the Halapuli Bati Baitais, which I love saying, so I'm going to say it. Halapuli Bati Baitai.
I had to give you an opportunity to say it.
Matt Pryor, who I said on this show, I remember telling Jody, they're going to trade him. They're going to get something for him. Not a lot, but they're going to trade him. And they did, and he was able to start at left tackle, and it didn't work out that well. You mentioned Nate Herbig, a pretty good player.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac's a really good player.
Yes, he is.
And
yes.
It took him, but you know what? It took him a while to develop into that. Not saying they love Cam Jurgens.
Mm-hmm.
2-3 years down the road, it might be at center, it might be at right guard. He might be Isaac Seumalo. But is it unfair to expect him to play at that level day one? I think there's got to be a little bit of a ramp-up period.
I thought they were going to make it a competition because, Suopet has been there for a while. He's been a guy that they don't mind putting in on extended periods of time at the guard position. They'll start him, and they won't just start him a game or two. They'll start him for as long as he keeps the position, until the starter gets back. So I know they love Suopeta. He'll be competing. I also think Jack Driscoll will get his run at the guard position. Maybe he beats out Cam Jurgens. So the position's still up in the air. You got to pencil somebody as the starter, and they really love Cam Jurgens. So I see why they're going to go out and let him have the first chomp at the bit. They want him to play. They want him to start. They drafted him to start center. When you can sign back the best center in the league, even though he's old as Methuselah, but you still got to let this man play. So as long as Jason Kelce plays, Cam Jurgens will be starting somewhere because they like him that much. Does he deserve it? We'll see. But I think he's just a natural guy that has everything that Coach Stoutland loves in a player as far as the ability to block at the second level, can pull, very well, moves very well in space. And all these things are things that, Coach loves, Coach Stoutland loves to do because he has athletic guys. And, I think getting the reps now, and hearing, Jason call the defensive fronts and where the blitz is coming from, and because we really don't see how much Jason Kelce does when he's in, sitting at center and he's looking around, he's seeing the blitz, and maybe the hot guy is a guy that he could pick up, so he'll redirect the call. Like if they're coming from the right side, and he calls the mic to the right side, but then he looks over and sees the safety slide over a little bit and the linebacker slide over a little bit. He knows where the blitz is coming. He'll call, instead of calling Ray Big, he'll call Liz. Liz will change the whole blocking pattern, tells him go to this left side linebacker, and then they'll call protection there. Take that off the quarterback. And now, the read is not going to be as fast for Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts' progression of being the player he's become has a lot to do with what Jason Kelce did. Now, Cam Jurgens can see this type of stuff and make that natural transition from being a starter at guard into that center position whenever the ageless one thinks he's going to retire.
All right, I want to jump to the other side of the ball, Barrett, the guys you just have to go against, the defensive linemen. Going back to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, the Eagles rotated in 6 defensive tackles, and their defensive tackle, when they're in the 4-man front, is different than when they're in the 5-man front, but what we would standardly think of as defensive tackles, you had 2 young guys in Davis and in Milt, you had 2 veteran guys, and one who got paid big time, Hargrave, going out of town, and Fletcher got paid pretty well to stay. And then you got the 2 guys that they took off the scrap heap, and they came in and certainly contributed in Dominican Sue and Linval Joseph. That's 6. Right now, this team is down to 3. Yes. Because they haven't brought back either of the 2 old school guys. And, of course, Hargrave goes to San Francisco. So they need to still add to the defensive tackle mix, and we believe that they will. How much of Howie's thinking is we're going to lean on Milton Williams to be that much more this upcoming season? He's going to get more reps, that he's going to – I'm not going to say he's going to move into the Hargrave role and get those numbers of reps, but certainly more than he did. How much are they expecting out of Milton Williams, you think, this year?
That's definitely a sound concept to go with that line of thinking, because he's definitely the guy that given opportunity, he's played well when he was given opportunity. He was able to get pressure on the quarterback. He didn't get a lot of sacks, but he got pressure on him. He got hits on quarterbacks, and they weren't late hits. He's almost there, but almost, it's not, hand grenades and horseshoes. You know what I mean? You got to get there. Do they have confidence in him? Do I have confidence in him? I have a lot of confidence in him being a really good player. The only thing right now that I'm thinking about as far as how they're going to be able to play this game, don't get it twisted. I really think that Howie did a great job, and I'm giving him a B+ for what he's done in the offseason. He signed back his best, the best, I think, tackle in free agency that he could get for the bang for the buck, and that's Fletcher Cox. Say what you want to say, he's old, whatever. He's still right now our best defensive tackle. So do I think he's overpriced? I don't know when you're asking him to be your best defensive tackle. That's like the going rate. I saw guys that just run stoppers getting, twice as much as what Fletch got. So I really can't complain, because that's like the going rate with good defensive tackles these days. You see, what Hargraves got. But when I look at what is Sean Desai going to run, now they're saying that he's a 3-4 guy. So that means that the tackle's going to be lined up head over the ends. Over the tackles. The ends over the tackles, then you have that nose sitting right there in the middle of defense. Do I think that the big fella inside can make things happen? Jordan Davis, he has to take that next step. Do I think he's going to take that next step? I got some confidence in him that he's going to take that next step and be that dominant. Because in order to play a traditional 3-4 defense, you need a guy in the middle. You need a guy what I played with up in with the Steelers, Casey Hampton. Casey Hampton made everything. You talk about those linebackers, Larry Foote, Potsy, those guys were able to play as good as they played in the middle of that defense, because you had one guy that could eat up 3 blockers, and that's exactly what Casey Hampton did. That's what Siragusa did. You ask Ray Lewis, why was he so good? He'll tell you. The late and great Siragusa was exactly what the doctor ordered, as far as keeping the offensive line occupied and trying to block him and gobbling up space. If we can get that from Jordan Davis, if a traditional 3-4 will be good. But I think it's going to be a little bit of hybrid. They're going to play an over and under front in a 3-4 front, which means those defensive ends are going to be guys that are going to rush the passer. Now, do we have guys that can do that? Yes, we do. But will these guys develop on the inside? I need to see what Jordan's going to do. Nobody's really talking right now about Marvin Wilson. He might be a casualty of war. Does he step it up? On the other side, Marlon Tuipulotu, can he step it up? Those guys are the guys that we penciled in right there. Do I think Milton Williams will step it up? I have not the slightest worry about Milton doing that. I think he will play very, very good. But those other guys got to step it up a little more than Milton does.
I think Howie let the cat out of the bag. They're not changing defense. It's a big Fangio scheme, Barrett. God, they're playing the same defense, 50-40. They need the nose tackle. You're going to have your 4-eye guys. You're going to have your edge rushers. Hassan Reddick, they're not changing. Look at the season Hassan Reddick had. So I think you're right with the fact that essentially Milton has got to be penciled in for Javon Hargrave. Now, Fletcher's going to be part of that as well. I'm with you. I don't understand the hate for Fletcher Cox in Philadelphia.
Right.
This guy's one of the best defensive players in the history of the franchise.
Oh, look at
it's not easy. Here's why, because from time to time I come down on the ask the Fletcher question. It's not hate. We all acknowledge how good Fletcher has been. He's going to get his jersey retired, maybe all those Eagle honors. It's just individually, year to year, the amount of money that he's costing the Philadelphia Eagles, you can realistically say, I don't think he's worth the contract that he got. Now, does that mean, Fletcher sucks? Why the did we re-sign Fletcher? Nobody's saying that. But if you in any way question the fact that of all the moves that Howie Roseman has made this year, if you had to say one guy got more money than he earned off the season that he had last year, who would be that guy? I ask you both, John and Barrett. Who's the guy who got paid by Howie Roseman this year that you would say, Well, that's a little bit more than I thought he was going to get off the season he had.
Well, you get that. You're absolutely
Who
right.
would be that guy? Please tell me the guy on the Eagles how he signed this offseason, who fits that criteria.
I don't think he signed anybody for over, like Fletcher was going to get $12 million from the Jets. He got him for $10 million. Bradberry was going to get $3 million more elsewhere. He got him undervalue. He got Slay to come down. I don't think he paid anybody over that was the whole part. He was very disciplined. Obviously, with the lottery tickets, he's not paying those guys anything.
Right.
But he talked about Fletcher yesterday. He said, I don't think I understand the negative perception of Fletcher Cox. I think Fletch is a great player. He had 7 sacks. I don't know how many defensive tackles in the league had 7 sacks last year, but not many. Javon was 1. So I'll ask you guys this, both you guys. Would you rather pay Javon $21 million or Fletch $10 million? I think that's a better question.
Well, then you look at Javon, like that, yeah.
Javon's a great interior pass rusher. Great. But he's not good against the run.
I said that also. I mean, he's great. Yeah. Double-digit sack guy against the pass. But you can get that same production out of Fletch. He had 7. You know, I mean, 4.
Well, I don't think he's getting to 11, 12. Where was Javon? 11? Yeah, I don't think he's getting that high. But I think he's a more well-rounded player.
He didn't do anything against the run. Yeah. And that's why they had a problem. That's why they had to bring in those big guys, because he didn't play well against the run. He could be double teamed and you know, you can double team Fletch and Fletch not move. He can root hog and sit there. You didn't get that with Hargrave. You know, that's why they had so many problems against the run. So many times you watch Hargrave jump a gap and then he's out the play. You've got to be able to root hog and sit there and especially with the, you know, I'm not safeties. They're the same size as our safeties. You know what I'm saying? The linebackers we have this year. Kobe Dean.
They are safety. Yeah, they might as well be safety.
Yeah, he's not 230. He got him listed at 230. 5'11", no, he's about 5'11". He'd probably be a good 220, maybe 217. And then the other guy, Morrow, at this point, even smaller. He's just taller, 6 foot, 215.
By the way, that was my guess, Barrett. That was my exact guess, 217. That was my exact guess, 217.
So how do you stop? You talk about stopping the run. I mean, those are 2 small guys. Now I understand the Kobe Dean. He's smaller, he's compact, he's a little thicker than Morrow is. But Morrow has the experience of playing in the league. And, you know, I really think Kobe Dean is going to step right in and be an impact player. He's going to be a good linebacker, you know, not great just yet, but a good linebacker. But, what do you do? And everybody's talking about, you know, CJGJ. And they go out, they sign Edmonds. They got a better player in Edmonds than you had in CJGJ.
No.
Yes, absolutely, yes. At the position.
You really believe that?
I wholeheartedly believe that, because you're going to get consistent safety. And, you know, because go back and look at the interceptions that CJGJ, we got all enamored on his ability to go out and play and get those interceptions. Look who he got him against, backup quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? He's still learning to be a safety. You're going to see a drastic difference in what you saw in this system than you saw.
I'll say this, Barrett, that because I agree, he's a more consistent player.
Yes.
But CJ's a splashier player. We're just the same, a little bit the same we were talking about with Fletch versus Javon, different levels, but he's a much more consistent player.
Yeah,
he's not a bit for, you know, quarters, post safety. They want left and right. They don't want strong and free. I was surprised they signed Terrell Edmonds, but bigger than that, why didn't he get paid? You know, it's not just the Eagles. There's 31 other teams. They got him for $2 million. I'm with you. He was 33rd, whatever it was, in PFF rankings. He started 5 years on what's typically a good defense.
Yep.
So what are we missing? Why is he not getting paid? I asked Jody that yesterday. I'm like, why isn't this guy at least getting $4 or $5 million a year?
Because he's not necessarily yet a safety. He's still.
No, I'm not talking about CJ. I'm talking about Terrell. Yeah.
You know, they paid Mika Fitzpatrick. They can't pay him and pay Edmonds.
Right.
know,
Well, I
and-
agree
like
with
John just
that,
said, there's 30 other teams
but
here,
there's
Barrett.
30 other ones
Not
too,
just
when
the
you think-
Steelers, the 31 other teams he could
Yeah.
negotiate with, and he got less than $2 million from the Eagles.
he also has relationships also. He also has a great relationship with guys on this team. He actually played in a charity softball tournament this summer that I played in with him, and has had, you know, a lot of healthy conversations with him, good conversations with him. Him talking about his future a little bit. You know, he wants to play in a winning organization. Sometimes as a player, you want to go somewhere and you're going to get a lot of notoriety at what you do when you're winning, as opposed to if you're losing. And we must say that even though, you know, they snuck out and got a winning record this year, the Steelers defense was not the Steelers defense of old. And a lot of time he got overshadowed because he had Mika Fitzpatrick in the secondary with him. You saw the way he played. Break down the film of what he played, and that's what I did. I went back and looked at it. He played well. He's the closest we're going to get to a guy that plays like Malcolm Jenkins that we've had since he left.
That's did they want that? I mean, they don't want that in that Fangio defense. They want left, right. They want coverage safeties, and all of a sudden, I agree. He's more like Malcolm. He lines up. He's more like a chess piece.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be a Fangio-esque type of defense.
That's not what Howie said yesterday.
Well,
He
Howie,
said, don't expect the defense to change much.
well, I mean, when you looked at it, they didn't play a lot of two high safeties. They played a lot of cover three for the most part. You know,
well, they spin off.
Yeah.
The whole design is don't let the quarterback know pre-snap and make him take that extra second post-snap. And then you spin off in the corners, cover three, cover eights. I think they're going to play a lot of cover eight this year. A lot of invert cover two. That's
absolutely.
insane. That's going to drive people insane. But I think you're going to see a lot of that as well.
Barrett, no, you got to run. We appreciate you coming on for a couple of minutes. Will we be seeing the same? Sam, what did we decide, Johnny? You said salmon. Barrett, what did you say? What color is that, Odie?
It is a creamsicle orange.
Creamsicle.
Yeah.
I do like the old Tampa Bay Buccaneer uniform.
Yes.
We will be seeing that on Sports Take this afternoon here on the
Yes,
JAKIB
you will.
Media.
Yes, you will. Can't wait. And they're gonna talk about it also. You know, D Gun is not gonna let this slide.
No, he is not. We expect to get fashion.
Good seeing you, Barrett. Haven't
That was
seen
a
you in a
pleasure,
while.
fellas. Yes, yeah. Well, man, you work. I mean, did you get a chance to rest any yet in the Super Bowl?
No, man. I keep going. I keep going. Keep going and going.
I make McMullen earn his keep every single day here on Bird 365. Barrett, great stuff. Thanks, brother. We'll get you back on about a month from now. That is Barrett Brooks. You will see him later today in the creamsicle hoodie on Sports Take, and see him all the time on NBC Sports Philly as well. All right, he's McMullen. I'm McDonald. That makes us Mac a Mac. We still got 15 minutes to roll. Barrett had to run the doctor's appointment, so we appreciate him coming in for the 20 that he gave us. We've got 15 more to give you here on Birds 365. Stay right here.